Thank you for watching this video entitled Starting a Trip in Safest eTrips Mobile. This video assumes that you have downloaded Safest eTrips and have obtained your username and password from the ACCSP. It also assumes that you have successfully logged into eTrips and have already set up your favorites. If you haven't done all of this, then stop here and watch the previous training videos, which will walk you through these steps. If you have already done these steps, then let's go and start a trip. To start a trip, click on the Add New Trip button. This will bring you to the Setup Trip Wizard. First, choose your trip type, commercial or for hire. Then choose the vessel you will use for your trip. The program will list the proper licenses to choose from based on your trip type. Just to quickly show you what would happen if I clicked on a commercial trip, I could then choose my vessel, and the application would bring up all of my commercial licenses available for me to use in this trip. For this training video, we're going to do a for-hire trip on the Mary D2, and it will bring up my for-hire license. When you are done, click on the Next button in the bottom right-hand corner. You can see under the trip name that the trip defaults to the date and time that you started the trip. You can either leave this as the default name, or you can give your trip another name. In this example, I will name my trip the Smith Family Trip by clicking in the name box and then typing in the new name. Next, click on Recreational Mode. Choose your recreational mode, in this case, Charter Boat, and then click Save in the upper right-hand corner. Next, click on Port, and then click on the port that you wish to use, then click Save. The next box is Crew Count. Since I will have 2 crew members on this trip, I will leave that as it is. The angler count shows 6. I will also have 6 anglers on this trip, so I will not change this box, but I will leave it at 6. If you would like to add your own personal notes to the trip, just click in this box and you can add in your notes. We are done filling out our trip details. Next, click on the First Effort button in the bottom right-hand corner. This will bring you to your effort details. To set up your effort, click on the primary area fished, then pick where you will fish for this effort. For this trip, I will choose State Waters Inland. Then click Save. Next, pick your waters fished, and for this, I will pick on Rhode Island Sound, and then I'll click on Save. Next, click on Gear Type, and for this effort, I chose Hook and Line. Then click Save. Next, for my gear quantity, I want 6 hook and lines, so I would click in the box, delete the 2, and type in 6. Then click Save. Next, type in the latitude and longitude of where you will be fishing for this effort. For this effort, I will be fishing at 41:16 latitude, 71:35 longitude. So I will click in each box and put in my corresponding numbers. Once you are done entering in your lat long, you can then go to this box, click in it, and enter in any notes that you want to for this effort. You are now done setting up your effort. Click on the box in the bottom right-hand corner labeled Start to go to the next step. On this page, you will set up your start and stop times of your trip. You can use this application in 2 different ways. First, you can auto-track your trip while you're out on the water. If you choose to auto-track your trip, the application will automatically collect the start and end times of your trip. Additionally, if your tablet has a GPS chip, the app will collect the GPS location of your trip and your catch. This GPS data is for the captain's use only and does not get uploaded to the ACCSP. Many captains will use auto-tracking because they plan on inputting their catch while they're on the water, and they wish to go back and read the locations of their catch for their own personal use. If you do not wish to track your trip, or if you wish to enter your catch after your trip is ended, then choose Do Not Track This Trip. In this mode, you can set the times and the dates separately from your effort, or you can make the start and end times the same for your efforts and your trip. Let's go over the 2 different types of setups. First, the auto tracking. To auto track your trip, you can set the trip up before you leave the dock, then click on Start this trip later, and then click on the Go Fish button. This will then bring you to the page where you can enter your catch. The trip timer and the GPS will not begin to collect information until you click on the large Start this trip button. Once you hit that button, your trip is started. Going back to that screen for a moment, if you wanted to auto track your trip and you wanted to begin tracking it immediately, then click on the Start this trip now button and then click on the Go Fish button, and the app will immediately begin tracking your trip. Now let's go over setting up a trip without the tracking turned on. Most of the captains that use this mode are entering their catch at the end of their trip. If you click on Do Not Track This Trip, you can see that you have the ability to show a different time for your start of the trip and your effort. Or by clicking on the button next to Configure Separately, you can make the trip and effort times the same. To change the date and time of your trip start, just click on the Start Date button and change it accordingly. Then click Save. Do the same for the end date. Then click Save, and you have set up your trip. When done, click on the Go Fish button in the bottom right-hand corner, and then you are ready to add in your species. So you've done a great job setting up your trip. Continue watching the next video entitled Entering a Catch. Before we end this training, I wanted to point out one thing that will make entering your next trip even easier. The first time you set up a trip under a license, you will have to go through and pick your mode, gears, waters, fish, ports, and all of those things that we did in this training video. But the next time you set up a trip using that license, the item that you chose for your last trip will auto-populate for your next trip. This will make data entry easier because you will not have to change any items that are the same as your previous trip, such as your port or your gears. We appreciate any comments or feedback that you have about the app or the training videos. Please email your feedback to mobile_support@accsp.org. Thanks for watching.